Hey, hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday afternoon. Happy Sunday afternoon. Come on in the room. I am going to give you guys just an opportunity to get the notifications that I am live. My plan is to be brief, but I am definitely trying to be a little more obedient. In doing what God is asking me to do. So, again, come in, say hello as you come in. Let me know that you are here watching with me. I will give you guys just an opportunity to get those notifications and to know that I am live. So, come on in. And then as you come in, let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you are able to see me okay. And I'm going to mute my main microphone so that I can just check Facebook real quick and make sure that you can hear me. All right, looks like my sound is good. Come in, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy New Year. It has been a while since I've done a live. But this live is a little bit different. I do plan on getting back to coming to you and doing more mental health related talks because I do enjoy that and I do miss y'all. But this one is a little bit different. This live is a little bit different. And if I am completely honest with you, I did not want to do it. I did not want to do this live. Okay, why? I've never done like a prophetic warning live before. Now, there are things that God will share with me, and there are things that God shows me. And even some of this I've shared like in a small group of people that I'm a part of. But like sharing what God is showing me live is not what I typically do when I come on here. But I told God this year that I would be more intentional about saying whatever He tells me to say and doing whatever He tells me to do, not knowing that it would come so soon. So, this is, again, something that I want to share with you, something that the Lord revealed to me as a measure of just warning and preparing the body of Christ. So, again, come on in. Say hello as you come in. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Let me know that you can see me okay. I have my chat turned on, but I am not sure. I see that there are 2 people watching. Say hello to whoever you are that's watching. This is not going to be long. I hope not anyway. My goal is to say what He told me to say and be brief, but I also want to make sure that I am saying what He told me to say. So, what brought this on, right? So, this is basically about a dream that the Lord gave me. I think it's been about a week ago now. Like I said, I've shared this dream in a small group, and I was good. I felt like I had done what the Lord asked me to do. He showed me the dream. I got revelation from the dream. I shared it, and I'm like, high five, Jesus. I did what you told me to do. And He's like, well, no, not quite. That's like a B plus, but I need you to share this on your platforms. And I'm like, I don't share prophetic words live, Lord. What are you talking about? Now, if I'm praying and if I'm live and it happens, that's different. But to label something a prophetic warning, Lord, what are we doing? But here we are. So, I'm going to just go ahead and jump right into the dream. And then I'm going to share the rest of what He had me to share. So, about a week ago, it was like one of those dreams where it's like you're watching yourself in the dream. Like I was watching myself go through this particular situation in the dream. It was like I was an observer in the room watching myself. The scene of the dream was like it was like a hospital setting, like a hospital room. And I knew in the dream that I had went in to have some sort of surgery. I don't know what the surgery was for, but in the dream I was waking up from the surgery. And when you wake up from a surgery, you're kind of out of it as you're getting, coming back to consciousness and the anesthesia is wearing off. But for whatever reason, I kept thinking out loud, why is my wrist hurting? Like, this is what I'm laying in the bed thinking as I'm watching myself in the dream. Like, why is my wrist hurting? And so I looked down at my wrist in the dream, and there was this like triangle cut out in my wrist, but you could tell that it was like the triangle was made. But you know how you can have stitches that are like under the skin. So there are certain stitches that are on top of the skin, but if you have like internal stitches, the skin just comes together, but the sutures are under the skin, right? But I also could tell that there was this thing that was under my wrist. So I'm feeling it. You could see it. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I didn't give anybody permission to do anything to my wrist. This is what I'm saying out loud in the room. So the nurse overheard me saying, I didn't give anybody permission to do anything to my wrist. And here's what you have to pay attention to. She said, oh, but you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I consented to have surgery. She said, well, it was in the small print. The nurse said that I consented to have this thing implanted in my arm because it was in the small print of the consent form. And so then I woke up. So I asked the Lord, I was like, okay, what is this meaning? I had an idea of what it meant. And what the Lord revealed to me is that things are going to get to become so kind of sneaky and underhanded in the way that things are done, that you are going to have to pay attention, especially when it comes to surgery. You are going to have to be intentional about reading all of the small details. Typically, when we have any sort of surgery or any sort of procedure, we will go in and we'll just sign the forms. This time of year, you typically, when you go to your doctor, like for your annual or whenever you go back, like for your wellness visits, they'll have you update like your insurance information. They'll have you update your release of information. Then maybe you'll have you sign a new NOPP, which is a notice of privacy practice. Like they'll have you sign all the forms. And we don't read the forms. We'll glance through them, we'll sign them, we'll hand them back in. People are going to begin to push back with some of the things that are coming down from up top, right? From government. And because of that, like, for example, this chip that was implanted into my wrist that I didn't consent to, it's going to be that you will be consenting to things being done to your body. You will be consenting to things happening to you, and you not realize that you're consenting to this stuff because, again, this stuff is going to be in the small print. Even when it comes to surgery in general, aside from the dream that I had, there is a lot of things that's in the small print. I found out the hard way. And so this is why I try to be more intentional about what I read. I believe it was 2017 because I moved 2016, 2017. I think it was like 2017. I went in for this is real life now. I went in for an outpatient procedure. It was like an exploratory surgery where they just go in and do a scope and make sure that you're good. Because I had scar tissue that was growing from having like a lot of female surgeries, right? And when I woke up from the surgery, and it reminded me of the dream, right? So when I woke up from this surgery, I'm thinking, I'm going to put my clothes on and go home because it's an outpatient procedure. And I'm like, why my stomach hurt? And then I felt my abdomen and I was bandaged. I'm like, what is going on? And so I'm like, well, what is happening? A friend of mine took me to have the procedure, and she was like, calm down, because she could tell I was getting upset. Long story short, when the doctor went in for the outpatient procedure, he perforated my colon. So therefore, I ended up having to stay in the hospital for like 7 days on a whole bunch of antibiotics. And so I'm finna sue. Like, this doctor done messed me up. I'm in a hospital for 8 days. I am suing. No, you're not. In the small print, it says that a perforated colon and even death is a risk of the procedure. So we have to be mindful about what it is that we are consenting to. All that is so good. So when you think about how we sign our name to things in the natural, and I didn't even know this was going to be a part of this, so I know this is the Lord. Many of us are consenting to things spiritually because we're coming into agreement with it. I'll say that again. It may not be that you're actually going in and writing your name saying that I agree and that you are consenting, but many of us have come into agreement with certain things due to the agreement out of our mouth. Sometimes our presence is an agreement. Sometimes our lack of disagreement is also an agreement. So now that I'm kind of walking this dream out, I believe that it's more twofold. One part of it is natural. Like, you have to be careful about what you're signing your name to, especially if you're having a medical procedure, especially if you're going into the doctor, you're receiving any sort of medications or things of that nature. You're going to have to take the time to read the small print, because if you are not reading what you are signing, you will wake up and find that things have been done to your body, or things have been implanted in your body that you actually consented to because it was in the small print. That's the natural piece of the dream. That is the prophetic warning on one part of it. The second part is spiritually. What is it that you are coming into agreement with because of the agreement of your mouth? Many things happen in our lives and we don't realize why certain things are happening, why certain things are not happening, but it could very well be because of what you are saying out of your mouth. Again, it may not even be that you verbally agree. Your presence to some degree can be a form of agreement, right? So you have to be careful about what you're saying. You have to be careful about where your presence is, right? You also have to be careful about what it is that you may be even second-handedly agreeing with. Like, if somebody is telling you something and you're listening to it, like, their world could be crumbling, but if you're standing there and you're nodding, that nod in a sense may be an agreement. Like, you may be in agreement with what's happening in their life, but also you now open yourself up for those same things to start happening in your life. You have got to take the spiritual world more seriously. We do not realize that the spiritual world is actually more active and it is more real than the natural world. And the world in itself is getting darker. And so we have to be that much more intentional. The Lord brings us warning so that we can be prepared and so that we can know what it is that we should be looking for. We perish because we lack proper knowledge. And sometimes that knowledge can come through a dream. Sometimes that knowledge can come through a knowing. A lot of times knowledge can, even more times than not, crack open the Bible and it will become alive and you will be able to get a different revelation of what it is the Lord is trying to share with you. The second thing, as a part of the prophetic warning, is that if we go back and look at the government shutdown, which was a couple of months ago, even if we go back before the government shut down, let's go back to COVID. Let's go back to when COVID was around. Okay. COVID proved to us that the body, we as the church, the ecclesia, we are not ready for anything that's about to hit this earth. That was nothing but a what's the word for it? Like a preview. That was a preview of things to come. Many of us, unfortunately, didn't learn anything. We went back to life as usual. Fast forward to the government shutdown, where people that, depended on the government for assistance realized that they did not have a plan in place. Like they had nothing because they didn't prepare. How does that apply to you? Many of you, I am not the first person that has brought any sort of warning or has probably said we need to prepare. But I know that God is putting more of a demand on my voice. So here I am being obedient and saying what he's telling me to say. If asking you a hypothetical question, if your world were to shut down right now, you don't have power, you don't have cash, would you be able to survive? Oh, you can't go to the grocery store because the grocery stores don't have power. Like you got to survive off of what you have in your home. If your world were to shut down, do you have enough in your home right now for you and your family to survive for 30 days? Many of you don't have enough to survive for a week. We take these warnings lightly without even realizing what is really going on behind the scenes. Again, if the world were to shut down right now, would you and your family be able to survive for 30 days? 9 out of 10 of people would say, no, I don't. My question for you is why? What are you doing to prepare? And God, I would hope that preparation, people that are preparing, that are stocking up, that are doing all of the things, I pray that it's something that we never have to use, right? And we did too much. I'll take that. But what if? What if there really is something that is coming to this earth and you need to have a plan? You need to prepare. You're not going to be able to go to your neighbors because they're not prepared either. The government has already showed you to a certain degree that they will play in your face. So you can't depend on the government to take care of you if the world were to all of a sudden shut down. So what is your plan? The prophetic warning is that there is something that will eventually hit this earth. And I feel like we got a year left. Like I feel like 2026 is going to be your year to prepare. So if you have not already started preparing, again, why? You can go to the store and start getting canned goods. You can start getting non-perishables. Every time you go to the store, you can get a case of water, get things that you may need. And again, I pray that it never happens, that it's not something that we need. But woe unto you who something does hit this earth and you don't have a plan in place. You've done absolutely nothing to prepare your household. And you can't be mad at anybody but you because you just heard me tell you to get prepared, right? So now you're accountable because I just told you you need to have a plan in place. It is going to be essential that if you are able to start growing your own food, like it doesn't take somebody who's a prophet or prophetic to tell you that the food that we eat is trash. It doesn't take somebody who comes to you saying thus saith the Lord for you to understand that the food that we eat has chemicals and things in it. The food is designed to kill you. So why not be proactive and start growing you a few things? You don't have to have a huge garden, but being able to get some seeds and growing something. And even if maybe your current living conditions, you don't have the space to grow anything, then you can still begin to make healthier food choices, right? I know some of the fruits and vegetables that we eat, they're processed and are not real, but it's still better than eating a lot of processed foods. You have to be intentional about doing what you can. God honors the efforts that we make and he looks at what we do. But if you sit there and do nothing, you cannot now expect for God to come in and do what you choose not to do. You cannot expect God to come in and do what you could have done, what you can be doing. So you have to have a plan in place to prepare yourself and to prepare your household. Like I said, I feel like we got a year. 2026 is all about preparation. So get a plan in place, and you don't have to have a lot of money. Again, many of the people who get government assistance, they did nothing with it. Like the government shut down and people get money to be able to buy food every month and they had nothing. They were in crisis. If that would have been me, I would have definitely put a plan in place and started preparing, because the government can shut down again at any time. Then what? Then what happens? Don't depend on your utilities. Again, if the grid is gone, get you a small charcoal grill, get you something that you can cook with propane. We have got to be more intentional about preparing. There are people that are in the world, they prepared. The church is always the last one to get on board and to get prepared. The church is always behind. The church is always the last one to take a hold of new initiatives and things that are coming, like AI, for example. And I have mixed feelings about AI, because it's like AI has gotten so good, you really can't tell the real from the fake. So I definitely have mixed feelings about it, but at the same time, there are so many benefits to AI. But again, because the church viewed all of AI as evil and demonic, we are behind the curve when it comes to that. We cannot be behind the curve when it comes to your survival. This is separate than anything that the church has to do. You have a responsibility for you and your household. If you are listening to me and you have a church, you have a ministry, what are you doing to prepare those people? Because you are the shepherd, they are your sheep. So you now have a responsibility to also help them come up with a plan. You should be talking to whatever organizations you are a part of, whatever small groups you're a part of. Hey, what are you doing? Do you have a plan in place should something happen? People think that warfare, when it happens again, is going to be this bang, bang, shoot 'em up. That is not the era that we live in. War won't look like that anymore. War will look like your bank account being locked out. War will look like the grids being shut down and there is no power. War will look like what we've never seen before. So if you are thinking that you are preparing for this bang, bang, shoot 'em up war, we've already missed it. That is not the way war will look moving forward. We are in a completely different era, which is why you have got to come up with a plan to prepare yourself. Hear me by the Spirit of the Lord. Those of y'all that know me, I don't do these. Like, I don't do prophetic warnings. Like, that ain't what I do. So know that it is the Lord, because I was supposed to do this a couple days ago and I didn't want to do it. I went back and forth with the Lord, like, I don't want to do this, but I didn't want that blood on my hands by me not being obedient and saying what he told me to say, because I know that there are some of you who will tune in, right, and listen to me being on live, and some of you may have never heard this before, whereas there may be some others of you who you've heard this before, and maybe this is just a reminder to you got to do something. You've got to do something. So, quick recap, and I'm finna get off of here because I did real good with my time. The dream was a warning about not just going in and signing anything, because there are going to be hidden things that are going to be put in these surgery releases, like medical procedures, to where you will be consenting for things to be done to your body, things to be implanted in your body, not knowing that that's what you agreed to, because it is going to be in the small details. Make sure moving forward, if you're having any sort of medical procedure, you're signing any forms with a doctor, make sure you read it, because there are going to be things in the small print. Hey there. Hey, good to see you. You have to go back and catch the beginning. you're going to have to read everything. And the Lord even is speaking now when it comes to anything that you are signing your name to. Like what he just showed me is like what's it called, a mortgage. So when you're buying a house, make sure that you are reading. Oh my God, because what I'm seeing is that even when you buy a house, right, typically when you buy a house, the bank owns the mortgage until you pay off like whatever you owe them. But what I'm seeing is that there's going to be language even in the mortgage documents to where you will sign that mortgage, but there will be a clause to where like the government can come in and take your property for their use. Does that, and I know it doesn't make sense, but it's like this is just like playing out like a book as I'm talking to you. Be mindful of signing if you're buying property, if you're purchasing real estate, anything that you have to sign your name to. Read the fine details, because I'm telling you, I see it so clear. Like what God showed me is that there was somebody who bought a house, and then it was like it was getting ready to be some sort of war, and the government came knocking on the door. It was like, hey, we came to seize. That's the word. We're seizing this property because we have need of it. And the people are like, what do you mean you're seizing my property? I own this. And it's like they show them a document where in the small print it says that the government can seize your property in the event of a war, in the event of a natural disaster. It listen, y'all. And I have never heard that in my life. I have never heard that, but I see it plain as day. The enemy is going to become more clever. We have got to be more intentional about outsmarting what he's doing. This is why this is like a prophetic warning that just keeps on unfolding. The more that I talk, don't sign your name to anything that you have not read. Do not sign your name to anything. I don't care what it is that you have not read. Sometimes you have to go in and sign something, right? And they'll be pressing you going back to the surgery. If you know you got surgery coming up, and here's how they got me with my surgery. They gave me medication to help me what's it called, relax, before they brought in the paperwork, which was wrong. So I was half loopy and half crazy by the time they brought me in those consent forms. And so you just sign it. If you have something coming up, hey, the doctor, they have a responsibility. They can give you those consent forms a day in advance. Like when you go and do your pre-op registration for stuff like that, can I get my consent forms? I want to take them home and review them. And you get the Holy Spirit and y'all sit together and you read it, because sometimes the language in things can be so confusing that you'll think that you're reading and understanding something, but it has a completely different meaning. Type that stuff in Chat GPT, or get with somebody who's a medical professional. Hey, what does this mean? Because you have to have understanding. It is going to be essential that you understand what you're signing. It is the same when it comes to your mortgage. You're buying a house. Hey, send me that contract. And typically when you buy property, they'll like send you over the documents in advance. Don't be in a hurry, because that package is this thick when you buy a mortgage. Listen, sit and read it. And it's going to take some time. It's going to be an inconvenience. But my God, how much more would you be inconvenienced if the government come knocking on your door saying that they seizing your property and showing you the document that you signed? How much more of an inconvenience is that going to be? Because you're going to be standing there like, don't sign anything without reading it. Okay. And then for those of you that just joined, the second part of the prophetic warning was us just being more intentional about having a plan in place, for whatever is going to hit this earth. Many of us are unprepared. If the world were to shut down right now, we're not going to make it, because we don't even have a week's supply of non-perishable foods and things that we can survive off of. It is January. You have a responsibility to start preparing your household. Publix always got something, buy one, get one free. Go get you some buy one, get one vegetables. Go get you some buy one, get one, whatever it is that you need. You can go on Amazon. Amazon has these buckets, right? And I don't know what they're called, but if you go and look on Amazon, you'll see it. But it has like a 30-year shelf life. And it's not super expensive. Like you can get this bucket of oats, you can get a bucket of rice. They have MREs, which is already meal ready kits that you just kind of add water. They have things that you can get, like if the water becomes unsanitary, that you can put in, yes, Nikki, dry food, and store it in totes. Like you can, if you do a little bit at a time, when something hits this earth, you will be prepared. But like I said, woe unto you who have heard the warnings, because I'm not the first person that has said this. I'm not, but I know I have a different audience. So there may be people who have not heard this before. That's why the blood was gonna be on my hands. As much as I did not want to do this. You've got to get stuff in place. Get you some cases of water. Every time you go to the store, get a case of water. Every time you go to the store, get something else on your list. And like I said, you cannot expect God to do what you can do on your own. And it really is not terribly that expensive if you're intentional and you do a little bit at a time. Get you some seeds, dig you up a spot in the backyard and plant you something. Or go ahead and buy seeds, because a day is gonna come you're not going to be able to buy seeds, because then you could be independent. And of course, we know they don't want that. You've got to have a plan in place. I think that's all. Lord, is there anything else? I think that's all he wanted me to share. I just wanted to warn you guys. I wanted to be obedient to what the Lord told me to do. If you caught the tail end of this, just go back and catch the beginning. This is a very short live for me. It's only 30 minutes. So go back, watch the beginning. Talk to people that you know may not be getting access to this type of information. Help people understand the importance of preparing, because it's going to happen. Warfare is going to look a lot different in the days to come. So don't be caught off guard. Don't be like the 5 foolish virgins that when the bridegroom came, they ain't have no oil. Now is our year of preparation to be prepared for whatever is coming. I feel like God has given us a little bit more grace, because more people are hearing about preparing. More people are being intentional about preparing. So I feel like he's given us just a little bit more time. But don't waste the time. Don't squander the time. You have got to be putting effort. And don't you be the person that has blood on your hands because you're preparing your household, but you're not warning and telling anybody else. And they may not receive it. That's not on you. They may not believe what you're saying. They may think you crazy. That's okay. You do what God is telling you to do. And it's all for you from there. But now that you heard me, you are now accountable to everything that I've said. Pray about it. If you don't know where to start and you're like, Lord, I really don't have the finances, pray for a strategy. Listen, go to the food bank. If you have to start there, the food bank is always giving out stuff. And they always give out non-perishables. Start somewhere. Amen. All right, that's all I had. Feel free to share this with somebody. Drop it on your page. Yeah, I pray that it was a blessing to you. Just keep talking. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Okay. No, there's not anything else. Okay. I love you all so much. Thank you for those who hopped on. I see you, Nikki. I see you, Miss Christine. I see you, Miss Kim. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I really do appreciate you. Hey, Miss Tamara, if you're still there. So all right, guys, that's all I got. Just prepare. Time is of the essence. Love you all so much. Have a good evening. Bye.